So welcome everyone to the Co-Creators Convergence call for October 20th,
Right.
2016. I'm Noelle Marshall, and this is my beloved
Bob Warner. Great to have you all here this evening.
We're excited to have you here, and Bob's going to tell you a little bit about the Co-Creators Convergence.
The Co-Creators Convergence, for those who are new to our call, Joanne, and others that will be listening to this and watching this Zoom conference later, is a group of evolutionary souls dedicated to creating a new humanity, inspired by such visionaries as Barbara Marx Hubbard, Buckminster Fuller, and very importantly, the source of all that's inside of each and every one of us, each and every one of the souls that are walking the earth. And so we gather on a regular basis, and we connect in 4 different ways. So we welcome you to be a part of our community. If you're in the sound of our voice and you're in eye behind the eye is seeing us right now, we connect in 4 different ways. We have a website called co-creatorsconvergence.com, and on that website we have the archives of all of our conference calls, 2 a month, 2014, 2015, 2016, and a few months ago we decided to start using this technology of Zoom conference where we could see each other as well as hear each other in spirit. And so that's archived for all of those years. We also have a very active Facebook page. We invite you to join us there. And now once a month we have this call on the 3rd Thursday of each month, hosted by not Noelle and I, but by someone in this circle of community known as the Co-Creators Convergence. Tonight we're blessed to have Kathy Mason and Ted Murray being the host for our time together this evening. The 4th way we get together, 4, is our annual gathering in circle at Sunrise Ranch in Loveland, Colorado, at the Co-Creators Convergence, where we dance, apparently, according to Linda, and we bop, according to Janet, and we have a wonderful time in the circle there together. It is not a conference, it is not a seminar, it is not a workshop, it is a convergence of co-creators. And so we are blessed to be able to be together in circle. We look forward to that in 2017, June
1 through 4.
1 through 4, and we look forward to being back there again. So those are the 4 ways that we connect as a community, and we're very excited about this evening. Glad to see that Marion and Glenn made it down I-95 all the way to Hollywood, Florida, and wonderful to have them with us this evening as well. Noelle, hand it over to them.
Yeah, I think what we're going to do now, Bob, is just hand it over to Kathy and Ted to introduce. I haven't mentioned his name. It's just an extra special person. I'm going to let them do it. But we did have someone join us. I'd like to know from area code
201.
201. Could you just identify yourself?
It's Jill.
Hi, Jill. Welcome to our call.
Thank you.
Where are you calling from, Jill?
Boulder, Colorado.
Yay.
Hi.
For joining, and I'm going to turn it over to Kathy and Ted now to introduce our guests and do centering, and let's get this party started.
Yeah. Well, we're really excited to be the ones hosting this, and we had to think about who we could get. And of course, being in Boulder, we've got so many wonderful opportunities, but the person we've invited today is really, we could say, a person who had as much to do with the start of the Co-Creators Convergence as anyone in the world, because I wasn't there, but Linda and Noelle and Bob were, but the first Co-Creators Convergence was actually part of Barbara Marx Hubbard being honored by Humanities Team. And Steve Farrell, I guess tonight, is the Humanities Team person, founder, co-creator, and just he's the heart and soul of Humanities Team. And I'll let Kathy tell you a little bit more about Humanities Team, and then we'll turn it over to Steve.
Well, Humanities Team is an international organization that's based originally on the works of Neale Donald Walsch, which is all based on oneness. And there's a very active group of international participants that are from every country you can think of. When I got to go to Greece, there were 38 of us. When I got to go to Portugal, there were about 30 of us, but very active, very passionate people that saw the unified field as a possibility of a way of life. and have done everything they can for the past, I think, 12 years to make that part of reality. And they live it. And it's quite inspiring. I was able to be part of it for 3-4 years, where I worked really close with Steve and helped do their marketing plan and travel with them. And it's just something remarkable to see. So Steve has a very busy week. We were very lucky that he would join us. The October 24th is Global Oneness Day. And that is actually, if there's a petition that I think almost 100,000 people have signed around the world to make that a reality. And then he's also working on a global business initiative that we're hoping that some of us might be able to get involved with him on it. Oh, good, some more people are joining us. So anyway, with I don't need to say more, except I'm so glad to be your friend, Steve, and thank you for joining us here and sharing your knowledge with us. So, Steve.
Well, thank you. Now, let me, the wonderful thing about this group, Kathy, first of all, was playing down her role in Humanities Team. She played a huge role because she came along in around the 2010 timeframe and helped us create our strategic plan, which is still the plan that we operate with. Of course, we're adjusting it as we go through the years, but it helped create the cohesion across Humanities Team that was not at the level that it needed to be. So, and all of you, Ted, with your messages from the heart, and Noel Bob, and Janet, and Marion, and Mark, and and others, Linda, again, you all are like supreme activists. So I was telling my wife about this program, and I said, these are like just so they're living it. This is what their life is about. And so it's such a privilege to be here with you all, because this is what my life is about too. So really pleased to be here with you.
Yeah.
So would you like me to, Ted reached out to me just a little bit ago and said, well, we usually start with a little centering thing. And he said, would like to do it, or would you want somebody else to do it? And I said, I'd love to do it. Is that a good place to start?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great. Well, let's then, we can close our eyes or not, but let's release all of our agendas and all of our plans. Any kind of thought or checklist or anything. It's the end of the day here. It's a Thursday, so it's later in the week. And there's so many things that we can just kind of release like autumn leaves. Let's just drop those things that might be our checklist, things that might cause a little bit of stress, or things that would cause us to be in our head. Okay, now let's all focus on just really getting centered, sitting straight with good posture, with our hands pointed to the sky, our feet firmly on the floor. Let's just focus on opening our crown chakra. Maybe open already, but check it, make sure our crown chakra is fully open. All of our chakras, but I want to pay attention in particular to our crown chakra and our heart chakra. Let's just pay attention to really opening our crown chakra and our heart chakra. Now at the beginning of the call, as Bob was talking about the co-creators convergence, and was sharing, of course, a major big thank you to Source, to the divine, to God, this thing, this one presence that we're all emanations of. So let's open ourselves, that crown chakra, heart chakra, to the divine, to this one presence, which is, of course, this incredible loving energy. Let's just allow that loving energy to bathe us, our heart to just soak it up like a sponge. that light and love and blessing, that grace and peace, that healing energy, that spiritual energy, our essence. It's our true essence, of course. It's who we really are. Let's just sponge up that light and love and healing energy. Feel it just course through all of our bodies, from head to toe, all the way. Feel that energy flow all the way through to the center of the earth, where we feel ourselves in flow. Now, let's feel energy coursing through our fingertips and our hearts, connecting all of us, this group that's meeting here, and those listening to the recording. Woo, and feeling that, just that beautiful energy now that's circulating among us. You can even see the energy that is now flowing between our hearts and our fingertips, connecting us, bringing us into this amazing coherence of love and light, blessing and grace, and so much more. And of course, there are these amazing light workers all over the world. There we have many friends, family members, nearby, close by, and far. Let's bring them into this energy loop. See them just bathed in this light with us, this grace, this peace, this healing energy, this spiritual energy, this divine essence, our true self. See us all just golden, lit up, light, enclosing our bodies, our being, and our presence, our collective, all of us and these other light workers all over the world. Kind of feel into them in different parts of the planet, all of the earth. And now let's extend that light out further to the over 7 billion people on the planet. All life forms, just see the whole earth, this planet lit up by this divine light. Where we're just all smiling in this divine presence, or Ubuntu, these different terms that really mean the same thing. I am because you are. We are all one. Let's really just breathe into, we can just feel into that glow now of the whole planet, which is all humanity and all life in this, it's being bathed in this light of divine presence of Ubuntu, where we can feel into, right in this moment, Christ consciousness, unity consciousness, God consciousness. Because we're now open fully to it. And let's breathe into that light. And just see ourselves giving each other huge hugs, physical hugs, virtual hugs, healing hugs, smiling hugs, loving hugs, grace-filled hugs, peaceful hugs. Okay, and we're going to slowly now just give ourselves about 30 seconds to come out of it. That's where we'll continue to breathe into it, because we'll carry this energy now throughout our session together. Hopefully into our sleep and just a real beautiful nighttime. Okay, we can slowly open our eyes. All right, namaste, you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ah.
All right, yeah, and I haven't done a Zoom session like this with you before, but I'm here at your service for the hour and 10 minutes or so we have. So however you would like to do this, we can, I could just start talking about programs. You could ask me questions, however you all would like to do this. Let's just let this unfold the way, in a real spirit-guided way.
What I'd love to do first is just allow each person to just introduce themselves, just who they are and where they're from, just so you can get a feel for the whole group, and then just throw it open for questions. Anything that people would like to know about you or Humanities team, and just make it a free-flowing conversation where we're co-creating something amazing.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Okay.
So let's start with the goddess house over there.
Yeah, because they're unmuted.
Now, I've unmuted everyone,
Okay.
but
Great.
if you would like mute yourself and then unmute yourself when you want to talk. But I think we'll start with the goddesses. Linda, you want to? Yeah.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Congratulations, you just popped on. So good to see everyone. Janet, I've been sending prayers to your husband and to you. We miss you. We're holding space for you right here. Right there. Hi to Mark. Haven't seen you in a long time. It's great to get involved. We just had a wonderful dinner at a Thai restaurant here in Washington, D.C. to anchor the feminine. To bring that energy, love, and compassion.
Linda, we're having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, you guys,
Yeah. And so maybe you could just tell them a little bit about why we're gathered here in Washington, D.C.
We're here because Noelle volunteered all of us to come. Because we always do what Noelle says. We are here to really walk the grounds of the capital of our country, to bring some balance back and to bring that essence of love and compassion and the feminine to honor the elements, to honor the earth, to honor each other. And
Kim.
yeah, there's Kim. Hi, Kim.
yeah.
That is me. Hi, Linda. Hello. I just found out how to get on here.
That's good. That's good.
Great.
So, and I'm here with my friend Joanne, who's in my women's circle in Indiana, and then I think you know Janice and Bart.
Nice.
So we're really happy to have Steve, who's just the ultimate sacred guardian. The men are also invited. This isn't just about goddesses. It's about the sacred guardian, the male energy.
I want to be in your pocket.
It's like Kim.
Yeah, hi. I want to be in your pocket.
Of course you do.
We're virtually with you. Yeah, wow, what a great mission, too, being in D.C. at this time. Woo.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so this was the Thousand Goddesses Gathering, and it was the message from Mother. A Gaia communicator by the name of Mayor Cromwell is the one who's behind this, and she's not a very public person, but she's a very deep person, shamanic, and a lot of training, and she's written like 3 books, and just kind of like messages from Mother. And the message was to have this 1,000 because of the Buddhist legend or a Hindu legend, whatever it is that when 1,000 goddesses gather, then the balance will be restored to the planet. So she got the message she was supposed to do this 1,000 goddess gathering. She thought, yeah, well, how about in 2017? And she said, Mother said, no, the election is in November. We've got to do it before the election. So that's why it all, this is all like 6 weeks maybe planning. And when she put it on a Facebook event page, it just kind of went viral. So I think over 700 people say they're coming. So it was just like, it was just like that one Facebook event. There wasn't any other advertising, or she's doing it all out of her own credit card, all the expenses. And so it's been quite a learning experience, but we're going to be there supporting them. And Linda is going to be in charge of the Joy and Gratitude booth.
Of course.
I'm not sure if it's kissing booth or what.
I hope so.
And Barbara's going to be helping out with the pledges. So people are going to have, there's healing stations, there's forgiveness stations, there's a central goddess, there's water element, there's a whole day of prayer and ceremony, and then everyone's going to be called to action. So Janet Gunn couldn't be with us, but she supplied us with prayer cloth where people can write their prayers or what their intentions are. And so out of that cloth, you can make a beautiful quilt of intentions, of messages that people are going to get this day. So it's going to be a very special day. So that's why there's going to be about 11 of us together. So I'm sorry to go on, and I apologize to the people who are on the phone who can't see the others who are on, and those will be, but that's kind of why we're gathering, and it's not too late to join us. So here's Talia. So anyway, with that, I will pass the baton. I'm Noelle for those who are on the call, and here with Bob. Do you want to add anything to that?
I drive the truck. I'm a sacred guardian this weekend. Bless you all.
He's going to make breakfast.
Wonderful. Okay, so do we want Janet?
Yeah, how about Janet?
Janet? Can't hear you.
Janet might be on mute.
Nope, your headset. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Don't forget the satellite communities that are doing, and I'm a satellite of one because of extenuating circumstances. So I know one of my friends said, do you think like 999 will show up, and if you'd have been there, you'd have accomplished your Oh, no, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, there are events going on in Mexico and quite a few other places. So spread out over the planet, I know we're going to have at least 1,000 goddesses.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Okay. Sue.
Yeah, Sue. Gonna unmute?
There you go.
Hi, I'm Sue. I'm in Boulder, and life's wonderful.
Great. Mark, you're next on the Hollywood Squares.
Excellent. Well, my name is Mark Porteous. I'm in Orlando, Florida, and just really thrilled to feel connected with all of you. We know most of you. Janet, we've known each other for years, but this is the first time I've seen you live through this Zoom call. So I'm really, really glad to see you and everyone else here, and just grateful to be a part of this community.
Thanks, Mark. Let's stay in Florida now with Darlis.
Good evening, Darlis from Jupiter here, and I will be soul sisters with the goddesses that weekend, so thank you. Thank you for all of you being there in person.
Great. And I guess we'll go back to Boulder with Kim, or Denver with Kim.
Broomfield.
Am I on?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was used to seeing everybody's pictures show up, and so I had a phone show up, and I didn't know if I was on. So hello, everybody. It's an honor to be here. The last time I was in Washington was for the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's March on Washington. And I'm a soul sister in Colorado and heart and soul, and I'm so glad and proud that you're all there. And thank you, Steve, so much for joining us and adding your voice to this collective this evening.
My pleasure, and good to see you, Kim.
Yeah, I've come a long way since we last spoke, so nice to see you.
No, good stuff.
Yeah, she's doing great.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, Talia.
Talia.
Hi, I'm Talia from San Diego, and I'm with you, sister goddesses, as you move onward to Washington. Yeah, definitely in my heart. Oh my goodness, I see Marion flashing up. Oh, hello, Marion. Well, and I'm just happy to be here. Dave should be here.
Yeah.
For long. And so, yeah, and I was really, I'm thinking of the women and guardians in Standing Rock also.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful if you will light a candle for them as you go up there, those goddesses and stewards. And yeah, I'm just really standing with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Talia.
Thank you.
Okay, Marion and Glenn.
Aloha.
Ah,
Hi, Mark.
Good to see you again.
We had breakfast with Mark this morning. We just arrived in Florida after starting off in Colorado about 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago. And we're here in Florida now for until December 1st when we fly back to Kauai. We are looking forward to Monday, Steve, and everybody. It's a day that we take off every year to tune in to Global Oneness. It's such a delicious day. So thank you, Steve, for everything that you're doing.
Wonderful.
And thank you, everybody who's on this call. It's so good to be connected. We were with Linda in Nebraska for the good of the whole, as that was our first stop on our trip from Colorado. So we love you all. Thank you, Steve, for your great work in the world.
Great on. Yeah, thanks for holding Monday. Yeah. Hey, a lot of the planet do that, huh? Boy, isn't it time? Our activism is called for big time, all of us.
So we have one more.
great. Now we'll go to the phone calls. I think Jill, are you there? Jill Rosen? Is that Jill?
Yes, I am here. It's my introduction to this group, so I'm glad I'm here. And I have an old friend here in Colorado named Rennie Davis, who was one of the heads of the Chicago Seven. And he's a pretty spiritual being on the planet. And we actually have a meeting this coming Friday to talk about how we might be able to create something to go forth to help humanity. So this could be a good plug-in.
Good. Great.
Wonderful. Thanks so much,
Jill. Sorry I can't see you.
And
yeah, I wish we could see you.
Yeah, who else is on the phone?
That's Kim's.
Is that Kim, your phone? 303?
It is, and how I can't seem to get the sound on the Zoom, so I've got the phone going so I can hear the sound.
Okay.
Okay, and one more thing. Mila texted me back and said, I'm at my daughter's volleyball game and trust to make it home by 8. So I don't know that we'll still be here, but thank you for checking on me. So just so you know.
She's with us in spirit.
Yeah, yeah. So,
wonderful. So why don't we go ahead and turn it over to Steve, and just Steve, if you could just start talking about Humanities Team and what it is, and give us a background, and then we can jump in with our questions. Noelle?
I'm just going to say I'm going to put everyone on mute except for Kathy and Ted and Steve. So I'm going to do that from
questions and answers.
And
so we'll have time for questions and answers later. If you do want to answer a question, you have a question, you wave if you need to communicate, and I'll turn you back on.
or use the chat. You can also use the chat.
Oh, use the chat. That's excellent. Okay, thanks, Kathy. I forgot. We haven't got used to all the bells and whistles on this thing yet. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to mute all right now. Yes. Now I'm going to unmute Kathy.
Right there.
Kathy, unmute, and Steve, unmute.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Well, should we jump right in here?
Yes. Sure. Thank you.
All right. Well, as you all mentioned in the introduction, Humanities Team was founded in 2003 by Neale Donald Walsch, who of course wrote the Conversations with God books. And in fact, if you've read some of those books, there are 9 Conversations with God books out now. And there's actually a 10th one that's coming in the next few months, if you can believe that. We all we thought the Conversations with God thing was over, but Neil shared there was something that a voice that emerged that said one more book, Species Awakening, is coming. So that's exciting. But if you read Tomorrow's God, you actually can see the whole story of Humanity's Team, because it's in this book, where Neil's, of course, in dialogue with who many of us believe is the divine God. And there's this was right after 9/11 that Neil was in despair, as many people were, about just this sense that we'd lost touch with our own identity, in the sense that to be driving airplanes into buildings and killing others, we're actually killing ourselves, because we are all one. And of course, this message that we are all one isn't something that was new to Conversations with God at all. It's, in fact, it's not a New Age thing at all. It's been around since forever. They're in before Christ times, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Vedas, in the Old Testament, in the Tao Te Ching, in the Upanishads, to name a few. Oneness is talked about extensively, that we're all one with the divine, humanity, and all of life. So it's this timeless truth, this ancient truth, but that was lost. And many people will take it back to Newtonian times and stuff. Who knows where we fell off the path, but what we do know for sure is that this spiritual illiteracy problem is huge, in the sense that there's so much of the planet that doesn't have an awareness that you all speak about as you introduce your group, that he lives in me, as they say in Lion King, or she lives in me. She lives in all of us, in you and me, and that we're all made in the likeness and image of God. And it's true not only for humanity, it's true for the planet and all of the life on the planet. So you can read a little bit about that in Tomorrow's God, but in that 2003 timeframe, back in the spring of that year, Neil called me. He called a few others, and invited us to his home in that spring to say, I'm going to start a movement, and I want to talk about it and kind of plan it for a weekend, and you're welcome to come and stay with us. So again, I joined a group of people where Neil talked about Humanity's Team that he would found. This message that we're all one with the divine, each other, and all of life is still, pretty bleeding edge here in 2016. And in 2003, it was quite bleeding edge. I think most of us knew we'd lose our friends, family members, etc., to embrace the message. But it's true. It's a message that's true, and it's a message that needed to be out in the world. So when Neil asked me to help him launch Humanity's Team in Wilsonville, Oregon in June 2003, I said, sure, I'm in, and agreed to be the country coordinator for the U.S. at that time. And Neil, of course, has a very busy schedule. He's an author, a speaker, he does seminars and retreats and all kinds of things. And so shortly after it was founded, well, first I flew back with him to Prague in the Czech Republic, where we did our first Global Council meeting in September of 2003. And
cool.
And then he asked me shortly thereafter. He said, "Would you? The Recreation Foundation can't take this on, and I've got too many things on my plate. Would you be open, to taking it?" And I knew, we all have a calling, right? Just you all have this deep calling to co-creators convergence and all the things you're doing individually and collectively. And I knew I was supposed to do this. And I said, yeah, So we didn't have a governance structure or any money, or we weren't even a nonprofit at the time. But there was a lot of passion, people like us here on this call that said, this really is the missing message. This is the missing message. That how it got lost, I'll never know, because it's been around forever. And then you have scientists like Erwin Schrödinger back in 1933, the Nobel Prize winner for physics, who even says quantum physics thus reveals the basic oneness of the universe. And you have the Bruce Liptons and Greg Bradens and Lynn McTaggarts and Dean Raddens and Nassim Harrimans, and all these incredible people, and philosophers like Ken Wilber, and world leaders like Irvin Laszlo and Gene Houston and Dwayne Elgin, and all the spiritual leaders, Neil Donald Walsh and Michael Beckwith, and all these incredible people, and entertainers like Barnett Bain. All of these people that in contemporary times, and ourselves, and we don't want to, and I should start with ourselves, because we want to really praise the grassroots. All of us, we're not in this for any financial gain, that's for sure, and none of us are celebrities, and probably ever will be. We're here because we know that we're supposed to be here. We were called to this. In a sense, the divine tapped us on the shoulder, and called us in and said, hey, this is why you embodied, right? This is why you're here. Your purpose is to get this message out, to live it, to express it, to bring it to your family, to bring it to your community, to bring it out in the world. And so this is what Humanities Team was about. And I happily threw my lot in with these people. Kathy gave me a very generous introduction, but in truth, it's all of these people like yourselves that were called to this, that truly it wasn't me that tapped them on the shoulder. I didn't. The divine tapped them on the shoulder. They were called personally by the divine to join Humanities Team and do the work that we're doing. And that's how we get the reach that we get and have the impact that we have, and that we're growing the way we are. It's the divine is most of it, which is that inspiration that we're all emanations of. And then it's the other people, because of course it is, as we know, it's a co-creation, which is what your group emphasizes. It's so true that we're the arms and legs of the divine. We're it. And without us, it doesn't happen. So it's the co-creation of that divine that is this beautiful energy that lives within us all. And then it's our devotion to it, where we get up in the morning and we give it everything. We give it our all. We, Ted, with this beautiful every day, he downloads this incredible energy and he, boom, sends it out in emails. I shouldn't just use one example, because each of you, I know many of you, I know your stories and know what you're doing. Each of you and all of you. So that's really what Humanities Team is about. I think it's about exactly what you're about, which is why, and again, as I mentioned when I came on, you all are activists. So, because there are a lot of people that are still trying to figure out, am I really being called to this? Is this a part of my purpose? This could be challenging. Maybe I'm going to lose a bit of monetary gain, if I devote time to this. And you all are way past that. You're all out on the mountaintop, just in Washington, D.C., and all over the place doing this work. So I just want to thank you all, because it's our story, I think, is together we can, because Kathy knows I like to use puzzle pieces, as a metaphor, that alone there's so little we can do. But if we all just plug in our energy and our connection of the divine, our expression of the divine, if we can plug that all in, and work in the cohesiveness of that, because with spiritual energy, with that cohesion, wow, there's so much we can do together, and it's a blessing, and it's fairly easy. We even use words like levitation, right, that we feel when our group is spirit guided. And that's what we endeavor to do, in Humanities Team. I know that's what you all endeavor to do. And so the beautiful thing is as Barbara Marx Hubbard shares, who's a wonderful, mentor to all of us, is the birth already happened, right? We're maturing the baby now. And also, this is unstoppable. There is no way that this doesn't get to its destiny. We've all felt into that, which is why we're so devoted to this. We know 100% that the earth is awakening, and that in this generation it's happening. And what we're doing is we're just feeling into it every day, feeling into that energy, and we're feeling into, okay, what is my role to play? And with our groups, what is our group's role to play? And so things like Global Oneness Day and our Conscious Business initiative, or these are things that our group has felt into, where we can see that, this is our role to create an Earth Day for an awakened humanity. That's what Global Oneness Day is, which is on this coming Monday, and then which we could talk about more if you want or not during this call. And then this Conscious Business Initiative, which is about 2 years old now in Humanities Team. And this initiative was also one that we felt into, where we could see that the personal development work we're doing within Humanities Team is talking to us awakening and expressing the divine, and doing that as parents and in our relationship, and as public servants, that was only going to take us so far. And what we were feeling into is that our economy and our paychecks and income and everything comes from business. And as we know, businesses are generators of lots of things. In many, great things in many cases. There are many emerging companies, the Unilevers with this guy, Paul Pullman, who leads it from Europe, and Tesla here in the United States. And of course, some of us are in Colorado and in Florida, other parts of the world. We're all familiar with incredible emerging businesses that are conscious, that are all about, being generators of great things to our communities in the world. And that's a trend, and it's growing. But it's also true, we can't put our head in the sand. It's also true that we have whole industries like GMO and animal farming and fossil fuels and part of the financial industry. And I'm a business person, by the way, by background. So I'm not one of these tie-dyed t-shirt people that's saying, business, down with business. That's not where I come from at all.
You came from California, from Silicon Valley.
I came from, that's right. And exactly. And I have a lot of friends still, in Silicon Valley and in business. And so what we felt into was just that, we have, of course, things like certified B Corps that are awesome. Candidly, just to bring in a little nuance, that it's a little bit, as we see it, 3 Ps: people, planet, and profit. The certified B Corps. We're in the process of developing a relationship with them, because we think we're natural partners. And one of the things we're going to bring to them when we come into relationship is the 4th P, of presence, of consciousness, of, hey, wouldn't it be valuable to bring this dimension in, this age-old truth, and do we really want to leave it out? People, planet, and profit covers a lot of ground, but it's leaving out the spiritual, it's leaving out the connection. We really want to leave that out, so we're going to engage them in conversation around that. But overall, we love the certified B Corp model. But the problem is it's a rather niche model. There are only about 1,200 in the whole world. Half of the states in the country don't even allow certified B Corps. Oh. So what we felt into is, we all are sharing this planet. We want a habitable planet. We want health for people, for humanity, for all life on Earth. And so why don't we have a code, a new standard, like for business, that says all businesses that aren't B Corps are conscious businesses, right? Conscious businesses that are where they can go through attainment type testing processes to determine that they're really generating good things, for their communities and for humanity and for life on Earth and that. So this is what we felt into a couple of years ago. We realized as we were feeling into it that this was a much bigger thing than Humanities Team, that we wouldn't have any hope of going anywhere if this was just a Humanities Team initiative, because business is global. It has a global footprint. So we reached out to Urban Laszlo, who leads the Club of Budapest out of Europe. We reached out to the Sanji family, who runs the Goi Peace Foundation out of Japan, and also the Case Western Reserve University, the Fowler Center for Business there, because they're doing a lot of really progressive things in the business community. And the thing about our 4 NGOs is, you probably know, the Fuji Declaration was the Goi Peace Foundation and the Club of Budapest, which talks about divine presence, the divine light. And so we could see with our 4 NGOs that we would be uninhibited. We wouldn't need to dumb down, or water down this aspect of consciousness, of oneness, of spiritual literacy. We could talk openly about it. So we worked with them to create the declaration. You all maybe have gone to the consciousbusinessdeclaration.org site, where we have these 7 simple little principles that we're just asking now business leaders all over the world to sign, that says, you know, we've gone as far as we can with this unconscious business model. We need, all business should be conscious business, and we're all inhabitants of this planet, and you know, we're creating a movement here to see that all businesses become conscious businesses, because if you have whole industries that aren't conscious, that are generating things that are hurting humanity and the planet, that affects us all. Businesses don't operate in silos. So we're creating a movement. We're going to make this happen, you know. So that's what's happening with the Conscious Business Initiative. So that's just a real quick little kind of summary on these things. There's the Conscious Business Initiative actually has other parts. We started it with the declaration, but we've announced other dimensions to it, which I could talk about too.
Okay.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead with that. But I think what we're really excited about what you're doing and how you're leading the way and showing us how the big picture can be accomplished. How do you see us as individuals at this point getting involved in the things, whether it's Global Oneness Day, what can we do to make an impact on it, or what can we do with the Global Business Initiative? So just again, how can we help you take this forward, and how can we all be co-creators in making the big vision happen as quickly as possible?
Boy, awesome. What a great question. Well, let me jump into that one here, Ted. On Global Oneness Day, first, if you haven't, you all maybe have seen the site. It's globalonenesssummit.org, or just Google Global Oneness Day, and you'll go right to the site. You can look at the speakers. It's all free. It's Monday, and it's over 12 hours. It starts at 8:15 Pacific time on Monday, and it goes till about 8:45 at night Pacific time. And it's free. Register, and then if you miss any or all of it, we actually send out a link to all of the programs for 48 hours free listening afterwards. So registering, hopefully you can participate in some or all of it live Monday. But if you miss it, you've got an opportunity to listen in later. And the programs are incredible. And what makes Global Oneness Day work is you've got these amazing people like Michael Beckwith and Deepak Chopra and Gene Houston and Panache Desai and all of them, you know, that whole enlightened group, and Ken Wilber and people that all come in pro bono. None of them ask for anything. They come in, they give an hour or a half hour for the keynotes, and they're just sharing their heart and all of their wisdom. It's amazing. So come and, you know, participate in it. But what I would love actually to this thing that you bring in, Ted, of how do we co-create and what can we do together? We have currently on that site, the Global Oneness Summit site, it says get involved at the top. You can pull down a menu and there's all this stuff that you can do. Like the Association for Global New Thought, which is Michael Beckwith's group. They're doing church services on this Sunday, the 23rd. And they're doing other kinds of things as well. And there's a Global Rhythm Circle where people are drumming and playing guitar and all kinds of stuff all over the planet. So there's a lot of ways that people can become involved. But I would love to hear from you all. I'll give you my email address. And thoughts that you have. It's probably too late for this year because this whole thing is now, you know, in forward motion. But for next year, if you have thoughts around what things, you know, you would suggest we do that allow more co-creation, you know, because the vision for this day is Earth Day for an awakened humanity. And as you know, Earth Day, we're not looking for, you know, some people running a summit to do Earth Day. We create our own Earth Day, right? And likewise, that's what we'd like to do here. When this idea was brought to us of Global Oneness Day, originally it was called just Oneness Day, OD, and then somebody said, oh, you know, is it just in Boulder? Where is it? We said, well, it's all over the world. I guess we need to call it World Oneness Day, and that didn't sound good. We said, how about Global Oneness Day? That sounds better. And then Global G-O-D, you know, duh. That's kind of that's how our whole thing has worked. You know, that's why I'm saying we start by thanking the divine and we end by thanking the divine, because that's where all of this came from. You know, we're we're just feeling into what are we to do, and then that download just, is dropped to us. So, but the download was that, there really is a problem to solve. The spiritual illiteracy thing is huge, as you know. Most of our neighbors don't understand, that divine energy is actually flowing through them and us and all of life. And it's a big problem. It's not all of the dysfunction we see out in the world directly connects to this problem of spiritual illiteracy. So if you all have problems, how can you all as leaders, what do we do, going into next year and years beyond? What are things that we could do that could maybe make this vision even a more powerful one, where powerful people like yourselves are doing stuff? I'd love to hear from you. I'd love your ideas. And also, as you listen to Monday, anything that you hear, I'd love, your thoughts on the program itself. The Amplifield is our partner this year, a big strategic partner. So as we send out the ways to connect, there's the instant teleseminar links and that. But go to the Amplifield if you would, because the acoustical experience of the Amplifield is amazing. And you probably know Todd Jason, or Todd Goldfarb is his real name. He works closely with Barbara Marks Hubbard. And so the Amplifield's amazing. Go there and just, if you would, register. You just have to, if you haven't registered already, that gets you set up. And then Monday morning, and there's actually a pre-program Saturday at 11 Mountain Time if you want to listen in for a half hour. It's kind of a little behind the scenes. But Monday's the big, 12+ hour program, and I'd love to hear anything you have to say about that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I have one thought that just came to my mind, and Global Oneness Day has not been on my radar, so I'm really glad to learn about it. But I'm just thinking that even now, if we each just got the word out to our lists, and the goddesses, if they can sort of tune in, the other goddesses while we're there, we could have an impact on getting more people involved and spending as much time as we can on Monday. But I think we're big believers in just holding the field. And so even if we can't be there live, but just that awareness that it's going on and just feeling into the overall field that's being created, we don't know how much that intention, a global intention, has such a huge impact on consciousness, which has been proven, the Maharishi effect. So I think if we just all commit to getting as many people excited about it and engaged as much as they're possibly engaged, I think it would be a wonderful thing to be part of.
The other thing, Steve, that some of this group, there's some incredible talent in CCC that you haven't been exposed to, where these people are authors and speakers and quite amazing beings, healers, amazing beings. And I just wanted at some point for you to connect, that how I network and connect people, connect in, because with the 12 spheres, there may be some speakers here that could speak to certain categories in the 12 spheres. There may be some other connection for some of the other things that you do. For all of you in CCC, Humanities Team's email list is 70,000 plus people around the world. So if you do have something that you're in your heart, you want to get out, that is the same message of oneness and love, this is an incredible platform for you to get your message out in.
Yeah, our Facebook too is now, it's 588,000. So our
wow, really?
Yeah.
Go Angie, man.
Yeah, and all of them, and Nat and Dee, and all these are my colleagues, and so it's awesome. It's people that just, it's the oneness. They can see it is the missing message.
Cool. Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood how much we're all so interconnected in the possibilities.
Right. Absolutely.
My internet connection.
So who else wants to speak up now? Who wants to share?
This is Noelle. I'm going to speak up because I haven't unmuted anybody else. No, I think, Steve, you're right. We do have a very, very powerful group of activists. And I think it will be really great if next year, if you could come to the Co-Creators Convergence, and maybe you can't stay the whole time, but maybe we could do a thing like after our event is over or something, you could come in and do a breakfast or a morning sort of thing for people. We could just say either as a pre-event or a post-event or something like that. So it'd just be focused on your message and do some more of the brainstorming or dreamstorming in person. Because I know there's, you know, when you were talking about spiritual energy, I said, yeah, that's what we do. What are we doing CCC? And I go like, I don't know, but it's a hell of a time, you know. But that's what we do. I mean, the spiritual energy that we generate there, there's no way we can plan what happens there. I mean, that's how powerful it is.
This year, more and more people were saying, well, we want to stick around for often a couple of times Sunrise Ranch has asked us to ask people to leave because they didn't leave after a day or two.
True.
And, we've talked about having an after program or activities of some sort, probably closer to Boulder than Sunrise Ranch, the tour of Guy MTV, that sort of thing. So an idea of having a breakfast with Humanities team morning after or something like that, we'd love to talk about that.
Another thing is, you know, if you have Gaia right there in your backyard, I don't know what the relationship is, but, you know, I don't know why they wouldn't have like a live stream of your whole event. I mean, why isn't there I mean, they have a spiritual seeking as one of their areas of Gaia TV, but I'm thinking like, you're going to have, I mean, I love your Global Oneness Day, and I think what everyone could do is just get on your phone, get on your computer, and share it. I think you've probably seen, I know I put it on a lot of people's pages, but, you know, just share about the event, because I looked at the lineup, and it is just absolutely stellar. But, you know, I don't know, I just think there should be some representation of all those people to a wider audience. And I know Gaia is pretty big, and it's right there in Boulder, you know, because you can do Zoom, you could, and have all that stuff recorded and just have a constant stream. But I'm kind of babbling here, but you know.
No, let me say, but on that CC, the breakfast or lunch or whatever it is, Bob, that you were covering, I'd love to do that. So just let me know when it is. I'll put it on my calendar.
Okay. Well, this year, just so you know, Steve, our theme is cosmic. So just galactic. So just so if we just so we don't freak you out too much.
That's why I said he may want to come afterward.
She's moving to Colorado next month. She's moving to Sunrise Ranch. So
who is?
Barbara Marks Hubbard.
Oh, she's moving here?
Yeah. She's moving here at the end of November. Yep, she's decided. Now, you know, she's changed her mind on things, but right now she is dead set on doing this. Sounds like she's definitely going to do it.
Wow. Sunrise Ranch.
Yeah.
I had heard that, but I didn't have any verification on it. And I know Barbara kind of, so I'm going to say, wow.
Yeah.
They're going to call it Camp Eve, you know, like the president has Camp David.
Yes. That's her dream.
Oh my God.
That is her dream.
That's her dream.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So so that means she'll be there, but I would love to be there. And Galactic is perfect. I mean, you know, what is this anyway?
I just thought I'd let you know though before you.
So June 1 through 4 is when we're going to go galactic. Darlis is going to be our head galactician, and you know, we'd love to have you for the whole thing because it's pretty special. But you know, even if it's just a pre or post,
we'll talk.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Great.
I've been hogging everything, so I'm going to unmute everyone else. Let me see. Bob, I can't read this darn thing.
Noelle?
Yes.
Noelle, people can unmute themselves. So if you keep everybody muted, then it'll be.
How do you do that?
Thanks.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and mute everyone. And
how do you unmute yourself?
On the bottom.
It's on your very bottom.
Bottom left there. There's that little mute button there.
Yeah. So I
officially welcome David, who joined Talia partway through. So David, great to have you with us.
Hi, David. Oh, and here's my sweetheart. I just wanted to say thanks, Steve, for bringing presence into the P's of business.
Yeah.
I think it was Richard Branson who actually added a fourth P. Do you know what his fourth P is?
Is it purpose or?
Yes, it's purpose.
Yeah.
And when you were speaking, I thought there's actually another P, and I don't want to overwhelm the world with P's, but especially for humanities team, I think it's a really, I hear it from you, and it's participate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
absolutely. Well, yeah, no, they're and passion sometimes people bring in too, and so we're not trying to, and there's nothing proprietary about, about presence. We bring in presence because we were looking for a word that oneness, could be conveyed through, and as we were talking around, just like with this group. It actually came back from another thought leader because we were looking at Providence first, which is too old world, and he said, "Don't do Providence." He said, "What about presence?" And we said, "Wow, that's it."
yeah, big wow. Just
So,
want to say, give you a thumbs up on that.
yeah. So it's all about this whole coherence thing. It's all about as you know, Kathy, with these global council meetings that we do, just like your meetings, because I've sat in your meetings too.
Yeah.
It's about the coherence. So it's about feeling into the spiritual energy and just all kind of getting that download together. And nobody needs to be right. Nobody needs to be the first one, with the idea or any of that. None of that means anything. It's just that big agenda of we look out at the planet where there's all of this sleepwalking going on, this whole illusion of separation thing, and we go, let's walk out of this, okay? So let's figure out, let's feel into spirit and just kind of feel into the roadmap that's our journey to the other end of this. So that's really what it's all about.
Well, I do have a question about the business, the conscious business work. Is there going to be a directory for it where all of us that are businesses could qualify to be a conscious business and be in a directory?
Yes, there is. Let me just briefly kind of go through what the latest developments are there, because I mentioned the declaration, which is the first step. And I sent you, Kathy, and last year we put out a press release with our partners. We're calling our group of our 4 NGOs, we're calling ourselves the Conscious Business Alliance. And what we announced is that there are 2 other things that are coming. One is a Conscious Business Day. So we're, again, following the whole Earth Day path here, because it's a successful path, candidly, for just calling attention to something that's necessary. And then the third thing is a Conscious Business Designation. So because at the present time, we have the declaration. Humanities team has created a conscious business curriculum and a community of practice where we're now, you maybe have seen some of the programs that we've done. We had one in May, we had another one start in September, where we're training individuals. We're actually certifying them. It's a peer-reviewed process where they can become a certified conscious business agent by just really going deep into what the declaration is. So, and of course, as that name implies, it's for coaches and trainers and entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, anybody that's in and around business, so that you can go into a business and start a new business that's conscious or transform an existing business to a conscious business. So we're now at the level of just individual training and certification. We're providing that today. But what our alliance announced is maybe what you were talking about, Kathy, which is that businesses, we think, want to, on their business cards and on their physical real estate, would like to be recognized as a conscious business, that we're generating healthful benefit, to humanity and the planet. So that's what we're working on now, is this whole process that businesses can go through. At first, it'll be smaller businesses or divisions of multinationals, because we don't have the capacity to create an audit process and an assessment process for a large multinational. So it'll be simpler businesses in that, where we can go in with a process and a measurement system to see if the business is in fact conscious, as defined by the declaration. So we plan to, by mid next year, complete that process. And probably, we're just talking this out now. We don't have consensus, but it looks like it's going in the direction of a designation where you'd have something like bronze, as an entry-level point, and platinum, where you're really doing conscious business in all of its fullness. So it's not black and white of just yes and no. It's more, we're doing it in an elementary way here, and in an immediate, in a more advanced way here, and really in all of its fullness here.
Fantastic. Thank you. Fantastic. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we'd love to, Kathy and anybody that's interested in the conscious business. This is a huge endeavor for us. And if there were anybody right now, we're mostly volunteer. So if you had 5 hours a week even that and you were interested in it, there are lots of things we're doing. I'd love to talk to you.
Hi, Steve. Is that all right if I step in here? Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, my neighbor. Hi.
Wow.
So I've got a little bit of a list that's kept expanding, and so if I go too long, just tell me stop. I've got a newsletter and Facebook, and I will send out about Global Oneness Day. As far as supporting you for things for next year, is there, because I'm a real visual, is there a simplified list of precepts or things that you're already doing, so we're not saying something that's already going on? Is there something that could be made available so we could feel into what's already going on and sense what else wants to be spoken, if that would be possible?
Yeah, there is, we can do share screen. I could even go to the Global Oneness Summit site, pull it up, and if you wanted, or we don't need to do that, but
okay, or just send us a link or send it to Kathy, and
you can see at the top, Kim, if you go to the Global Oneness Summit site, again, just Google Global Oneness Day. Go there. At the top it says Get Involved. And if you pull down Get Involved, you'll actually see a lot of stuff. That, for, so that you can, because the whole idea is people making it their own. It is not to just listen to a summit and, oh, that was a good program, because we won't go anywhere with just a summit.
Okay.
So things that we can do in our community.
Great. And then it lists the different topics that everybody's talking about, and great. Wonderful. Then I'd love to hear belief structures. Why can you target maybe 3 to 5 or 7 things as to what you feel are the key reasons that people don't seem to get it? Because then activities, funds to other things can be created around bridging that gap.
Yeah, you mean get the spiritual literacy, the one?
Yeah, spiritual literacy, that experience, because actually I just spoke at ICEAM, and I did, the conference was called Heart to Heart. My talk was The Power of a Heartfelt Voice. And I did one activity that I did, which maybe we can get together in person for 20 minutes, because it's an experiential thing. And what I found from that was that people had this amazing experience, a literal experience of oneness. That, and even in that community, it was beyond what a lot of us had experienced before. So ways of, I have a feeling and I want to experiment with it, and I'll do that with people that I know, that even across a screen, could it be done? And you end up having the same experience. I don't know that yet. But what was neat was in person, there's everybody's body and all the cells of one's body lit up in oneness. It was fascinating. It was amazing. I could see the field change. So yeah, to understand what gaps there seem to be, and then help solve those gaps, help fill them either with words, actions, experience, whatever.
Can I jump in there on that particular topic? In the last few days, I've really been thinking that when we get over just being aghast, we could actually capitalize on on Trump, on the impact he's had. And if there were a way to capture a lot of these people who are just looking for a soft place to land right now and attract them very gently into a greater thinking. It seems to me like in this next year, if we don't do something like that, it's a real missed opportunity.
Yeah, and I'll just say, first, I think it's great, Kim. You've got a practice that is really touching people, and I know many of you, and I know again, Ted's email I think does that. And when we say this birth already happened, it really did already happen, as we know, and there's an opening now, right? It's different today in 2016 than it was in 2010 and earlier. There's something palpable we can feel into, right? So that's the good news is which this is unfolding before our very eyes, and neighbors that once would look at me like completely cross-eyed now will stand there, and they're kind of feeling into something. There's something that's happening. So I just think whether it's your practice, Kim, with what it is, or an email of Ted's, or again, all of the beautiful things Marion and her husband are doing, and Noel and Bob and Mark, and we all, the divine is calling each of us to something unique that we're doing, that's part of this whole maturing process of what has been born. And I just say, we ought to be so strong now, because it is palpable. We can feel that we're on the move, that this is happening. I think we probably can even feel that this is going to be done in this generation, which is huge. The biggest change that has ever come to the planet will be done in this generation. Wow, So, with that kind of, where we have the strength of that knowing, then I think we can just kind of walk out further with our experiences and our speaking and our service work and all of the different kinds of things that we're being called to.
Couple other things, if I may. First, certified conscious business agent. Is there, or maybe you've already got this planned, a logo when you get certified to a certain level that would be a link to that website that we could put on our website or put up on any literature that then would actually also be promotion of the concept, and even an active link. And even on the website, my last thought is a list or actions to be taken within a business so that people can begin to already become and make sure they're really living the model prior to even applying, so that we could actually enhance the living of conscious business and even promote that page on Facebook, on wherever.
Yes, and yes, and yes. I'm working on all of it. I just want to say, this is so huge, though. I don't know how many years it took the B Corp to create their certified B Corp process with their online tools. And, we're actually just in the process of developing a relationship with them. But the thing that we know is that we have to do this right. We can't do it, just try and speed through it and do a messy job. We have to do this right. And that means reducing. We already have reduced the declaration to something tangible, but now it's being reduced to even more tangible, and we're batching it. And then we're looking at the measurement system that where you meet the criteria or not at the, at a bronze level, at these different levels. And then, the way, first with a checklist, something manual, and then with online tools that you can actually assess your organization. So the level of complexity here, if we're going to get it right, is huge. And as Kathy knows, we're still almost all volunteers. So, it's a lot to ask people to do with incredible rigor and depth and this level of huge professionalism to make sure everything is done right. And you've got half of the team that's not even paid, and the other half of the team is underpaid. So. But we're just like you all. We're like, what? This is going to get done. And it's going to get done right.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Steve, when you said this is going to get done and this is going to get done right, it went back to what you said just a few minutes ago, which reminded me of our interview 2 years ago for the Personal Transformation Summit, when I shared a vision that I had when I was 12 years old of my children growing up in heaven on earth, or being in heaven on earth. And I squished that for 25 years and just thought it was some crazy thing in my head. And it's only been the last few years, and especially since being part of CCC, that I see the reality of it. And then hearing you talk about it when we were in our conversation about how real it is, that it's not just something we're trying to create or some figment of our imagination. That it's just, it's so tangible, and it's just, it lights me up to see a whole community that sees that. And Kim, you were asking about more about, what we can do and things. And one of the things, the biggest takeaway that I got from the last CCC Live, not last year, but the year before when I was there, the big takeaway for me is that the best thing that we can do is to be more of who we really are. And in doing that, everyone else will be modeling, and other people will see. And we don't have to try to change anybody's mind. They'll just see what's happening on the other side of the fence and want to come over.
Yeah, amen. Just be authentically ourselves, and I do believe, I as you know, Mark, and it was wonderful working with you a few years ago, and we've been in touch since, and that it's awesome. But this was, as you know, because we talked about our personal stories, this calling that that parents are afraid of leaving today's world to their kids, and that's again the beautiful thing about what we're doing is we are doing something tangible that is going to absolutely change that. That when we transition, we're going to leave our kids in the next generation a beautiful planet. That we're going to want to be born back into, because it's like all the heavy lifting's done. I want to be born into this world where relationships are, can you imagine, where you've got this unity consciousness going on between the two people in relationship. Wow, I want that. Of course, we're creating that now, even with our partners, but you know what I mean, where we're actually born into it, and that's how you're held as you're growing up. Wow, just so stunning.
Mm-hmm. And I also agree with you that business is a key component to make that happen, because it does manage the energy that money is. And if we want that energy to be a positive force in this change, I think someone on the Barbara Marcel's Agents of Conscious Evolution talked about the Trojan horse, coming in from the inside, and the Trojan Horse of Love, I think is the name of the book. And having people like like John Thomas, the connection are deep inside of big corporations. The shift is happening from the inside out there too.
Yes, it is. Yeah, John Thomas is the director for the Conscious Business Initiative, and there's a guy named Qua Beta who also works in our initiative that also came out of Intel. They both were part of that team that created Awake at Intel. And yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing. You've got big corporations like Intel and Facebook and Google, where you have pockets of people that are just like us, that are, spirit needs to be in this organization.
Mm-hmm. Mark, when you said what you just did, I so relate, and a line came to me that I've been dancing with, that we're really letting go of who we thought we were to become and live who we were designed to be. Mm-hmm. And that what if indeed, which I believe it is heaven on earth. Is I've been writing about what's been hiding in plain sight for a long time. And what if heaven on earth is hiding in plain sight? And it's, or as I say, the company of heaven has been doing a business plan, and it's activating now through us and everything as we listen. And then Steve, the last thing you were talking about, feeling into things. I do a lot of reflection between what happens with us in the womb and the crises in a human womb and fractals. It is actually happening in our world. And that's what a fetus and an embryo does, is it feels its way into its divine expression. And there are...
Oh, I think, well, I'm sure that'll come back here.
Yeah.
Beautiful what she's describing. So
sorry, Kim. Does anyone else want to jump in here? We're getting a little, our time is precious. We have about 5 minutes left. Is there someone who hasn't spoken who'd like to join the conversation? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
That was Talia sighing.
Oh, well, you know, I could just, I'm just sighing. It's just a conversation. And thank you so much, Steve, for joining us and bringing so much up. And for, I mean, it just seems like sometimes we just need a little nudge, and so much is there within us to come out. And that's my sigh of yes. Yay.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead, Linda.
Oh, Linda?
Sorry.
Get closer to the mic. Yeah, there you go. Oops, we're on. Hang on.
1 second. She's on mute. Unmute yourself.
Can you unmute yourself?
Lower left-hand corner.
Okay.
There you go.
So thank you so much, Steve. I would like to expand on what Noelle has proposed and invite you to just be part of the whole co-creator convergence, because that's where the magic happens. It's not like coming in before or going after, which would be lovely, but for you to be there, and you know, we're just all on the same level field of growing. And don't you think? I mean, everybody, you're in a call that's our reunion call. So let's see some nods of heads. That mean we want to.
Yeah, I did. I got to. Somebody mentioned Noel, Bob, or Kathy, or Ted, but when you all had Barbara Marks Hubbard come talk to you, that was the same year we were giving her our Spiritual Leadership Award. So, you know, I was there in that room with you all, and God, you must have had 60, 70, I don't know how many people, this huge circle, and it was beautiful energy. So I get it. I'm there, you know, just tell me when. And
That's right. It's a date, baby.
Hey.
Right. You can stay. You can stay and do what, but Darlis is going to help this up, so she's going to be up. Right, Darlis?
Yeah, Steve, thank you so much. The dates are June 1 through 4 this year. And I remember the time that you came, and the spiritual maturity as a whole, as the whole universe matures spiritually, our group has really matured and grown and gone out and done such incredible work in the world since you first saw us. That was our first year. And so going galactic is very exciting, and we are going to have a spectacular time there. This is about us also coming in reunion. You know, we do so many Zoom calls and conference calls, and there is a special energy of being face to face, and in that energy field for all week really builds and is exciting. So I'm excited about you coming. I'm excited about what you're doing. There's a group of us that are very interested that came out of CCC, the Inner Game of Leadership, and we're all on this call tonight. So we're very, very excited and interested in what you're doing with Conscious Business. So thank you for all your work.
Awesome. You're welcome. Yeah. Big thanks back to you, all of you.
And Ted, I'd like to also, Steve, I'd like to also chime in, because there are other resources and whatnot that many of us are involved in. And would like to, I want to be in touch with you about some other suggestions I have, that this just kind of got my mind going about the initiative, as well as Global Oneness Day for next year. And so you mentioned you would let everybody know how they can get a hold of you, because I definitely.
Yeah, let me give you my email address. It's Steve, S-T-E-V-E .Farrell, which is F-A-R-R-E-L-L, 2 R's and 2 L's, at Humanities Team, and Humanities Team has a Y in it, humanitiesteam.org. Okay. Steve.Farrell at humanitiesteam.org. Yeah, email me. Anything about Global Oneness Day, Conscious Business Initiative, or other stuff, would love to hear from you.
Thank you.
Super. Well, Steve, go ahead, Ted.
I just want to say thank you so much to all of you for being here, for Bob and Noelle for bringing us all together, and Steve for just your energy and your vision has just, I think, lit all of us up and given us that extra shot of saying, yes, it's happening, it's real, and it just becomes so much more palpable and so much more real when we hear it from someone who is really day after day coming out there with it. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
And it looks like Janice wants to say something.
One tiny little thought. If Barbara's going to be at Sunrise Ranch, somebody should have her block those days off as well.
Oh,
or she schedules something.
I've been taking notes, so I just wrote down your address. It's steve.farrell@humanitiesteam.org. Only when you look at it, it says Humanities Steam.
Steam. This is what I have to put up with all weekend.
You're a lucky dude.
I'm one lucky guy.
Throw me out. It's overboard with him.
No, he's the chaperone, I'm sure.
Far from it.
Well, I want to before we close, I just want to say next month we are scheduled to have, speaking of Gaia TV, Regina Meredith, who has the show Open Minds, has agreed she's going to be doing something new. I don't know what it is, but Sandy Stiebergen is going to be interviewing her, and they're both new to CCC, but Regina Meredith is one of my favorite interviewers on Gaia's whole network. Her stuff is incredible, covers the galactic to the nano to the parallel universes to, you know, so many different things. And I guess she initially started out in mainstream media and then had this gift and just said, you know, I can't go on like this. So she is the most thorough interviewer, thoughtful. And so I really hope that you all will be with us next month, the third Thursday. And I'm really excited. She's one of my favorite people on Gaia. And Steve's one of my favorite people, Humanities Team. But he does have, we give our thanks also to Dee and Annette, who's such tremendous work for you. And I know you have so many others, but I think of the three of you there in Boulder. And it's so exciting to see this new initiative being birthed. And I think it'd be better if we could have said it was birthed at CCC.
We'll
something else.
We will be supporting it.
We're all one, so.
That's right.
We're all one.
That's right.
That's right. And you know, Ted, thank you for reminding me that it was because of, you know, I always said Barbara Marx Hubbard, you know, because of her we had this thing, but it's really because of Humanities Team that we had the first convergence.
That's right.
And so it was really goes back to, you know, Steve and your selection process, bringing Barbara there.
Yeah.
So, so thank you very much.
You
worked all this, Steve.
I'm going to give the divine the credit again.
There we go. There we go. Pure source.
Beginning and the end. Thank you.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. What a pleasure. Thanks for having me. And boy, if you get a chance, Noel, when you talk to the Gaia person, tell them about Conscious Business and Global Oneness Day, and because we haven't been connected to that side, and maybe together we could do more with Gaia. They are huge globally, of course.
I can connect you to Steve.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because we actually had somebody from Gaia at CCC last year.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, they're a powerhouse. So.
Yay, let's do it, baby. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Kathy, Ted, Steve.
So
thank you.
Let's hear it for all the goddesses. We're sending you energy all weekend.
Woo!
Okay.
Woo!
Okay.
Put them on Facebook.
Lots of love.
Lots of love.
Thank you all.
Hey, you all. Lots of love. Talk soon.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.
I think I